Everyone keeps saying the same thing, that Mars is the future, that one day it will look like Earth. Blue skies, flowing water, forests, cities, people living freely under an open sky. But what if I told you something uncomfortable? What if I told you that Mars will never become Earth? Not in our lifetime. Not in 1,000 years. Maybe not ever. And the reason isn't lack of technology. It's something far deeper. Something built into Mars itself. We like to believe that with enough science, enough money, and enough time, we can fix anything. We fixed diseases. We crossed oceans. We reached the moon. So naturally, we assume Mars is just another challenge waiting to be solved. But Mars is not a broken Earth. It's a fundamentally different world. And that difference matters more than most people realize. Let's start with the biggest illusion. Atmosphere. People often say, just thicken Mars' atmosphere. As if atmosphere is something you can simply add, like air in a balloon. But Mars lost most of its atmosphere billions of years ago, and it didn't lose it by accident. It lost it because Mars is too small. Its gravity is weak. It can't hold onto gases the way Earth does. Even if we somehow released massive amounts of gas into the Martian sky, Mars would slowly leak it back into space. The planet simply doesn't have the strength to keep it. Earth holds its atmosphere because it's massive enough to grip it. Mars isn't. And that one fact alone makes terraforming nearly impossible. Then there's the magnetic field. This is something most people never talk about, but it's critical. Earth has a powerful magnetic field that shields us from the sun. It deflects solar wind, cosmic radiation, and charged particles that would otherwise strip our atmosphere away. Mars doesn't have that protection. Its magnetic field collapsed early in its history. Once that happened, the sun began slowly peeling Mars' atmosphere off, molecule by molecule. That process hasn't stopped. Even today, the solar wind is still eroding what little atmosphere Mars has left. So even if humans somehow created a thick atmosphere, without a magnetic field, the sun would eventually destroy it again. Terraforming Mars without a magnetic field would be like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom. Now let's talk about water. Water is life. And yes, Mars has water ice. But liquid water on the surface is almost impossible under current conditions. The pressure is too low. The temperatures are too cold. Any liquid water would either freeze or evaporate almost instantly. To keep oceans, rivers, and rain on Mars, you'd need a thick atmosphere and stable temperatures. And we already know why that's a problem. Earth's water cycle works because everything is balanced. Pressure, temperature, gravity, atmosphere. Mars doesn't have that balance. It never fully did. Gravity itself is another silent deal breaker. Mars has only about 38% of Earth's gravity. That might not sound like a big issue, but over long periods, gravity shapes everything. Atmosphere retention, water behavior, geological activity, even biology. Earth's gravity helps recycle carbon through plate tectonics. It drives volcanic activity that refreshes the atmosphere. Mars doesn't have active plate tectonics anymore. Its interior cooled too quickly. Mars is geologically quiet, almost dead, and that's another reason it can't become Earth. Earth is alive in a planetary sense. Volcanoes erupt, plates shift, the core spins, generating a magnetic field. These processes constantly renew Earth's surface and atmosphere. Mars lost most of that activity billions of years ago. Restarting it would require reheating the planet's core. That's not a technology problem. That's a physics problem. Now let's talk about radiation. Even if Mars somehow gained a thick atmosphere, radiation would still be a major threat. Without a strong magnetic field, cosmic radiation would reach the surface at dangerous levels. Long-term exposure damages DNA, increases cancer risk, and affects the brain. You can't simply build trees and cities under constant radiation bombardment. Life struggles under those conditions. Earth's surface radiation levels are low because we're protected from above and below. Mars offers almost no protection. People often imagine terraforming as a fast process. Release greenhouse gases, warm the planet, melt ice, create oceans. But even the most optimistic scientific estimates suggest terraforming Mars would take thousands, maybe tens of thousands of years. And that's assuming technologies we don't currently have and may never develop. And there's another uncomfortable truth. Even if Mars looked like Earth on the surface, it wouldn't feel like Earth. The sky would be different. The sunlight would be weaker. Days would feel longer. Seasons would behave strangely. Gravity would always remind you that you're not home. Your body would know. Human biology evolved on Earth. Our bones, muscles, organs, immune systems, even our psychology are tuned to this planet. On Mars, humans would always be adapting, compensating, struggling. Earth supports us naturally. Mars would require constant effort just to exist. And then there's time. Earth took billions of years to become Earth. Life didn't appear overnight. The oxygen in our atmosphere exists because of ancient microorganisms that spent millions of years producing it. Forests shaped the climate. Oceans regulated temperature. Everything here is connected by deep time. Mars missed that window. Once Mars lost its atmosphere and magnetic field, the clock couldn't simply be turned back. Planetary evolution doesn't offer resets. Some people argue that Mars doesn't need to become Earth, that humans can adapt instead, build domes, live underground, use technology to survive. And that's probably true. Humans might live on Mars, but that's very different from Mars becoming Earth. Living inside sealed habitats, breathing artificial air, shielding yourself from radiation, growing food under lights. That's survival, not planetary transformation. That's living despite Mars, not because of it. Mars will never give us open skies to breathe under. It will never give us rain without consequence. It will never give us protection without technology. It will always be hostile at its core. And maybe that's the point. Mars isn't meant to be Earth. It's meant to show us what Earth could become if things go wrong. A planet that once may have had water, warmth, and potential, reduced to a cold, dry world struggling to hold onto a thin atmosphere. Mars is a warning frozen in time. When we look at Mars, we're not looking at our future home. We're looking at a possible future for Earth if we fail to protect it. Climate imbalance, atmospheric loss, magnetic weakening. These aren't just science fiction ideas. They're reminders of how fragile planetary systems really are. Mars teaches us that planets can die. So when people say Mars will become Earth, what they're really saying is that they believe technology can overcome physics, gravity, time, and planetary history. That belief is comforting, but it's not realistic. Mars doesn't need to become Earth for humanity to learn from it. It needs to stay Mars, because the most valuable lesson Mars offers isn't hope of escape. It's appreciation. Appreciation for breathable air, for gravity that holds our oceans, for a magnetic field that silently protects us every second of our lives. Earth is not normal. Earth is rare, and Mars reminds us of that every time we look at it. So no, Mars will never become Earth. Not because we aren't smart enough, but because some things in the universe can't be rewritten. And maybe instead of trying to turn Mars into Earth, the real challenge is making sure Earth never turns into Mars. That might be the most important mission humanity has ever faced.